Amari Cooper blew the lid off of this offense. And now he's got a full off season there. He's got time that he's developed chemistry with Dak Prescott. And with Ezekiel Elliott sitting out of practice, I mean, he's going to get a lot more targets, a lot more looks in the offseason. He's going to have a lot more ability to work on that rapport and work on his role in this offense and really carve himself out a great big old notch. So Amari Cooper is going to be the kind of receiver that I suggest you draft a little earlier than other people would. So I've seen him down as far as 25 on other people's lists, and that is just idiotic to me. If he's available in round 4, probably will be, snap him up. Snap him up. I mean, Amari Cooper is going to be lights out this year. So, number 9, Juju Smith-Schuster. We don't know what the offense is going to be sans Antonio Brown. But we do know that now Juju Smith-Schuster is the undeniable number 1 wide receiver for this offense. And with Big Ben at the helm, that means he's going to get a lot of fantasy points. So don't overthink it, guys. Juju is going to be a lock. Number 10, Adam Thielen. This guy was Mr. Consistent. I mean, just he always had numbers all last season. Now, football-wise, I don't necessarily think Minnesota's making any deep runs in the playoffs because I have zero faith in their quarterback if you've paid attention to any of my previous videos. But they're great regular season numbers-wise. Okay, they put up points. And Adam Thielen is the absolute most consistent member of this offense. He's got some kind of chemistry with Cousins that the rest of the guys don't have. Very workmanlike, knows how to run routes and get open. So, yeah, he's going to do it again. Outside of this top 10, number 11, T.Y. Hilton. He'd be higher up on this list, I think, if they did more in the offseason. But I think this is a good position for Hilton. He's the number 1 wide receiver for a great quarterback. But that great quarterback does spread things around because he's good. So he's not going to get the numbers that like Amari Cooper will because there's going to be too much focus on the number 1 target. But he's going to get good numbers because he's more talented than every other receiver on that team. Number 12, Mike Evans. He might be higher up if we really knew what this offense would be. There's enough question marks with Bruce Arians coming in and the first year of his offense for this team that Mike Evans got pushed a little further down. But he's still a physical nightmare. So he's going to be great. We just don't know how great. 13, Cooper Kupp. People are sleeping on Cooper Kupp. I know he got hurt. Okay, I know he missed a good chunk of last year because of injury. But when he was healthy, he was a lock for number 1 wide receiver on just every week. He never stopped catching balls. He put up 100 yards every freaking week. He's always in the end zone. Just Cooper Kupp was the obvious number 1 option in an offense that really is really up-tempo. I mean, they just put up nothing but points for the Rams last season. So Kupp, now that he's healthy, is going to do that all over again. Hopefully he stays healthy all season. It's the only reason he's not higher for me. Okay? He'd be top 4, top 5 wide receiver on my list if there wasn't a question of health. Now, number 14, Robert Woods. He's this high on this list because Cooper Kupp is this low on this list. All right? Robert Woods was the not injured, consistent target available all season last year. So Yeah, there's enough of a chance of injury for the other wide receivers on this team that Robert Woods is going to get a lot of action this season again, I'm sure. So yeah, he's going to develop further rapport with Jared Goff, now in, year 3 with Jared Goff in the league. So yeah, I think Woods is going to do just fine. So get him earlier than you normally would. Again, Cooper Kupp as well, but yeah, you get Robert Woods too. Number 15, Stefon Diggs. He's only this low on the list because he's not as consistent as Thielen. He's still great. He's still going to be a number 1, number 2 receiver for most of you guys throughout the season. That offense is up-tempo. They got a quarterback that spreads the ball around really well. And Diggs is going to get a lot of points. Number 16, Odell Beckham Jr. He is this far down on the list because there are other offensive options on that team. He's leaving a team where it was really just Saquon and him. And he's going to a team that now has 2 good running backs, a solid tight end, 2 solid wide receivers. So, yeah. There's just not going to be as many targets to go Odell's way. So he's immensely talented. It's just there's not going to be enough targets going his way for him to really push the envelope fantasy-wise. Number 17, Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was the best rookie wide receiver last year. Year 1 to year 2 is a big jump for wide receivers in this league. And what's holding him back, though, is the offensive coordinator changed. So he will be better as a professional. He will not have more familiarity with the offense. So 2 steps forward, 1 step back. He's going to be better than last year, but not by a noticeable enough amount to push him higher on this list. Next, we have Tyler Boyd. You notice I put him ahead of A.J. Green. That should be obvious enough. A.J. got hurt, and it's an ankle injury. So A.J.'s getting older. He's at that age where you can start to see him having more consistent injury problems. And for an ankle, A.J. is a great all-around talent. But an ankle is hard to overcome with lateral movement. So change of direction stuff, route running, and the after-the-catch stuff, the making people miss, is going to suffer for most of the season until he really fully shakes off this injury. So, Tyler Boyd's going to benefit from that. Boyd is going to be the new number 1 there. And it's not AJ's fault. He just got hurt. Boyd is going to do enough early in the season to stay the number 1 target throughout the season for Andy Dalton and the Bengals. And, it's tough to see AJ get done like this, but it's happening. Next, we have Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett, some weeks he was just dominant last season. Only reason he's not higher on this list